So you want to write a book by the end of the year. How do you prepare for that so that you can successfully finish your draft? Well, today I've got 7 steps for you to practically get ready for a 100-day writing challenge. So I hope you're up for it. You might want to take some notes. All right, step number 1. This is probably the most important and the most obvious of steps, but that is decide if this is really something you want to do. Starting it and then not finishing it isn't going to feel good. So if you tend to get excited about things and then fizzle, really consider whether this is something that is the right thing for you to do at this time. You probably have some idea of what your schedule is going to be like in September, October, and November, especially. Now, obviously, surprises come up and there are things that you can't plan for, but I'm guessing that you probably have a pretty good idea of what's already on your docket, things that you're expected to do, or things that you want to do, or things that you have already committed to do. Considering those things is a 100-day challenge where you commit 30 minutes a day to writing. Is that going to be feasible? Now, the energy for writing is usually pretty high in this last quarter of the year. And so, for most of us, even if we're busy, this is a really productive time. In fact, sometimes because we're busy, we're really intentional with our time. So, just being busy doesn't mean it's not a good time to write. But you know your schedule. If you are experiencing, say, a medical diagnosis right now, and it's unlikely that you're going to feel good over the next 100 days, then either change the challenge for you to adapt to that, where you just give yourself permission to have off days whenever you need them, or maybe decide that you'll do your 100 days starting in January or February or your birthday, whenever you want. 100 days can happen any time of year. But if you are committed to work for 100 days from September 1st to December 10th, then I've got more tips for you. Tip number 2 is to decide when you are going to write. If you don't already have a daily writing habit, then really think about when is the best time of day for you to write. Whenever you can carve out 30 minutes and you can consistently show up. So, the backbone of the write method is this concept: writing 500 words a day consistently. So, you're doing it most days. That's the whole point. As long as you do that, you will be churning out drafts. But what time of day is going to be right for you right now? Now, I'm a morning writer. I have said that a lot because at this busy stage in my life, whatever I do first in the day gets done, and the rest of the day is a gamble. Who knows? Sometimes I get the things done that I hope to accomplish in a day, and sometimes I don't. And if you're busy like me, maybe morning writing when you can be most undisturbed is a good time for you. But I'm aware that morning time is not the best time for every writer. You may be in a season where it is way better for you to, say, get to work 30 minutes early and use that quiet office space that you have at work to write before or after your job, if that's appropriate where you work. That could be an option. It may be an option for you to write during your lunch break and just take 30 minutes of your lunch break and dedicate it to writing time. Maybe it works for you to stop before or after work at a coffee shop or a library or somewhere that's conducive to writing and write there so that you can get your writing done. And you may even be an evening writer where writing before you go to bed feels like a really nice, peaceful transition into sleep. Maybe that works for you. But right now, step 2 is to decide when your time of day is going to be. If you want this to be a habit, you really need to be consistent about when you write. So, step number 3 goes along with step number 2, and that is deciding where you will write. Part of having a consistent place to write is that you can set up your environment to nudge you into the habit of writing, to sustain that habit, and to make it really easy for you to start and stop if you need a hard stop at the end of 30 minutes. So, when you write may have a lot to do with where you write. Because I'm a morning writer, I like to write in an armchair near this office space. That is my typical place to write. And so everything I need for writing is usually within arm's length. My laptop may be over here charging overnight, but for the most part, I have sticky notes and pens and any other materials that I might need for writing easily around me. Now, that's how I want you to think about your writing space as well. What do you need within arm's length? If you happen to be someone who's a mobile writer, so you're writing on the go at coffee shops or libraries or on commuter trains or something like that, then just create a mobile office. So maybe have a backpack or briefcase or some sort of a laptop bag where you put all of your materials that you need for writing. And then, no matter where you are, they're always within reach. So, where are you going to write? And I just keep getting ahead of myself. But step number 4 is, what do you need in your writing space? So, I just mentioned having the things you need within reach. But what is it exactly that you need to be able to write? For me, of course, the first thing is my laptop because that's what I write on. Whatever device you use to write, make sure that you have that ready to go. That means it needs to be charged and set up and ready. If you write on an online platform, then you may need to be able to have some sort of an online access to be able to write. And so that may limit some of your options as to where to write if you don't have internet access on your device. And one of my favorite things to keep close at hand is a sticky note and a pen. And that way, if I ever have any ideas that are distracting me or tempting me to get up and go take care of something before I forget it, I just jot those down and then I won't forget them and I can do them after writing time. My most important tool next to the laptop for writing is coffee. So I need a place to be able to hold my coffee cup and maybe keep it warm. I actually have a mug warmer near my armchair where I write, and that helps to keep it warm because I'm not usually drinking a lot while I'm writing, but I like it nearby. So think about the things that you need to set up your environment. Step 5 is one that'll be really helpful if you don't yet have the writing habit. Now, if you have the writing habit, you've probably already done this one. But step 5 is to set up cues to remind you to write. So, whatever those cues need to be for you, they can be a reminder on your phone, they can be a sticky note that you put somewhere prominent that you will see right around writing time. They can even be dry erase writing on your bathroom mirror. You may want a mix of audio and visual cues so that it just gets you writing, especially if you are writing later in the day when you're more prone to be tired and to skip it. Just that little reminder may nudge you to get into writing. And if you are struggling to write at that time, you may even want to put something motivational on your reminder. So you might have a reminder that says, "Writers write," and I am a writer, just to encourage you to show up for your writing time. Just as a bit of a bonus tip, along with having your space set up and your cues for writing, I love to pair writing with things that I already enjoy. That's why the cup of coffee is so important in my writing, not because I'm chugging coffee while I'm writing. If you ever watch the Write With Me's, you'll see that I may take a drink at the beginning and at the end, and every once in a while, somewhere in that 30 minutes, but I just mostly like it near me. I like to smell the coffee and I just like to know that it's there. I have paired writing with something that I truly enjoy. And so it makes it easier to show up for writing. So maybe you could do that as you are setting your cues for writing too. Perhaps you put your reminder on your coffee maker so that as you are brewing coffee, you are also getting ready to write. All right, for step number 6, this is using that tactic of don't break the streak. And the idea here is that you post a 100-day log and you check off every day that you write in that 100 days. This keeps you writing. And if you already have 16 days under your belt and you're not feeling it on day 17, part of your brain will say, if I don't show up, I don't get to mark off that day. And if I don't mark off that day, I break my streak. So, what some people do with this is any day they do break the streak, they change colors in the way that they mark it off. So let's use that example. Let's say you made it for 16 days, but then you missed day 17. No reason to beat yourself up. Let's just keep going, right? So on day 18, change markers, and then you just mark off the days of your streak in a different color. This also gives you a visual of how many times you have broken the streak. And for some of us, that also is really motivating. And step number 7, which is the most exciting step, is start writing with me on September 1st. By September 1st, make sure you know what time of day you are writing. You know where you are writing. You know what you need at hand. You have set up your writing space. You have created cues and paired it with fun things that you enjoy. You've got a log of 100 days ready to cross off. And on September 1st, you start writing with me. I really hope that if you want to write a draft by the end of the year, that you commit to doing this and that you and I together can work on our drafts. That's the whole point of this channel. There's many other channels where you can learn how to write better. You can learn better how to plot your novel. You can learn how to write better nonfiction. But this channel is just about getting you to do the act of writing. And 100-day challenges are a great way to do that. So are you in? Is this something that you want? Well, if you are still questioning maybe what you want to write for a book or how to plan out that book, well, make sure that you are subscribed to this channel because I'm going to talk about that in next week's videos. For now, it's really about decision time. Is this something that you want to do? And if it is, you and I are going on an adventure that's going to last 100 days.